Hey, I'm Willie from the Zombie Star, and this week in comics, or what we're reading this week in comics, are some issues that have been out for a while. Been struggling to catch up with these weekly issues, but we got one number one that just took me by complete surprise. Really want to talk about it, and some follow-up issues of some really awesome titles. I recorded this in several parts, as it's just been difficult to just kind of record it all in one shoot. So there'll be some editing in it, but these titles are pretty awesome, and this number one, like I said, just blew me away. Let's begin. Eat the Rich, issue number one, written by Sarah Gailey, Pius Bach, and Roman Tydov. Eat the Rich, issue number one, really gets going quick and introduces a very wealthy family with a very eccentric lifestyle. So wayward son Astro returns for a family function and to introduce new girlfriend Joey to mom and dad. As I mentioned, issue number one wastes no time, as it just jumps right into the murder and mayhem as things quickly unravel for Joey. Don't really want to spoil this anymore. Murder fans, slasher fans, read Eat the Rich. Artwork is very reminiscent of things like Family Tree by Jeff Meyer over at Image, and things like Nice House on the Lake, where the artwork is deceptively pleasing and is really great at concealing the chaos and the mayhem that's behind the environment and its characters. Issue number one, and I'm already all in on this. We're going to continue following this on This Week in Comics, but this is going to be a hard recommendation and our only number one for this week. I know I'm late on this. I know this has been out for a while, but as I mentioned, we are really just catching up. But whoa, I was surprised with how entertaining this was in a very just simple way. Eat the Rich, issue number one. This is awesome. Made in Korea, issue number 4. This takes a heart-wrenching turn for dramatic tragedy, as our main character, Jessie, as her story is being told through aimless rage and the dysfunction of misguided youth. Issue number 4 does not shy away from the terror and the devastation that is left behind when mindless acts of violence have occurred. I was completely unarmed, as the material in issue 4 is all too real and really all too often. And while this dramatic plot shift was completely unexpected, it really allowed for this powerful growth for our main character. The artwork has been brilliant in just capturing the wonder and the innocence of our teen synthetic Jessie, while in that same form captures the devastation and just the trauma that is left behind when hateful acts of violence occur. And for this, the narrative and the artwork just operate on different levels, making this a very rare and unique kind of read. This is issue number 4 of Made in Korea. Subject matter very delicate, very sensitive, could be seen as offensive, so definitely not for everyone. We are appreciating this for the story that it's trying to tell through the eyes of the character that it's trying to build. This is Made in Korea, issue number 4 from Image Comics. Batman, Reptilian, book number 3. Something is rotten in the city of Gotham, and some of the most notorious and well-known villains, psychos, and gangsters are on the run as someone or something is executing them in brutal style. Ironically, the only man in the city that has a chance of saving their lives is Batman. For 3 issues now, Reptilian has been building this nameless and formless threat that just leaves death and destruction everywhere it goes. The city's best detective is kind of left stumped on this one, as his theories on identifying what this threat is quickly fall apart, and any suspects that he has quickly become victims. Reptilian is very heavy on plot and characters, which can make it feel like it moves a bit slow. But I really enjoyed in issue number 3 just the time it took to show the thought processes of Alfred and Bruce as they work together to eliminate leads and argue logic. Any good detective story has a deliberate pace, and Reptilian is using it very well. Liam Sharp is absolutely dominating these pages with his distorted and malformed illustrations. The terror and the fear is just smeared across these panels as the book seems to take place in a living nightmare. Easily the most uniquely drawn Batman story that I've ever read, and I'm absolutely loving it. This is the cover, our only cover for Batman Reptilian book number 3, and yes, this is the artwork by Liam Sharp, and this is the artwork that is in the book, and it is just something that is very unique. And this is a lot of fun to read. It's going to be around, I think, around maybe 8 issues, so for kind of a shorter Batman story, Reptilian is really going to be for you. Time Before Time, issue number 4. This is a paced drama set in the world of human trafficking, where illegal time travel is used to smuggle people to different time periods. By issue number 4, we learned that the two largest organizations, the Union and the Syndicate, are locked in an all-out war as they vie for dominance or territories, which are really just different time periods. Main characters Tatsu and Nadia have found themselves kind of in this cat and mouse chase from both organizations. Main characters have vastly different motives and objectives, but for the sake of their own lives are forced to try to manage this very shaky alliance. And in issue number 4, this alliance is really put to the test as both characters need to make some very difficult choices. Issues 1 through 3 I felt really took time to build this very complex setting, but did really great in managing enough action and drama to really balance out this series. Artwork is deliberately depicting a very desolate future, kind of for civilization, as the colors and illustrations are deliberately void of any vibrance, and even as the characters jump through different time periods, the artwork is really great in maintaining this very grim appearance, which I think is very appropriate for the material, but also for the emphasis of its setting. Time Before Time, this is a really good kind of crime drama, if you will, and like I've said before, really just is inspired by the film Looper, which I think Time Before Time is probably the best thing that uses this time traveling mechanic in such a dramatic way since Looper, I think. And this is the only cover we got. But this is Time Before Time from Image Comics. This is really a lot of fun to read. And that is it for this week in comics. Next week we are probably still going to be playing catch up, but hopefully we can catch up with these weekly releases. But yeah, this is what we've been reading this week. Awesome titles. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.